The Landman Season 2 trailer, and I can't lie, my heart's still racing. If you thought Season 1 had twists, just wait. This trailer doesn't just tease what's coming, it straight up warns us. Everything is about to change. Tommy's not just a fixer anymore, he's the boss. And with power like that, the enemies don't come quietly, they come loaded. Let's break down everything this new trailer is hinting at because trust me, you're going to want to be ready for what's coming. So right off the bat, the trailer opens with a serious tone. There's no warm-up, no slow build, it hits hard. We hear Tommy say something along the lines of, "If you want to change the rules, you better be ready to deal with the people who wrote them." And that line? That sets the tone for the entire season. It tells us that Season 2 isn't just going deeper, it's going darker, and the stakes are much higher. Remember, at the end of Season 1, Tommy Norris stepped into Monty Miller's old shoes and became the new president of MTex. Now that sounds great on paper, but this trailer makes it crystal clear. This new role is going to test him from every angle. He's no longer operating in the shadows, he's now at the top of a company built on secrets, politics, and a dangerous relationship with oil money. You can see it in his face during one quick shot in the trailer. This isn't just about business anymore, it's survival. But it's not just corporate drama. The cartel is coming back, and this time they're not sending warnings, they're making moves. One scene in the trailer shows what looks like a violent ambush on an oil rig, and another shot hints at something worse, a funeral. We don't know who's gone, but the look on Angela's face suggests someone close to Tommy's world has been lost. That alone ramps up the emotional tension. And let's talk about the visuals for a second, not the shots themselves, but what they represent. We see flashes of the Permian Basin, but this time it's not just a backdrop. It feels like a war zone. Fire, smoke, trucks flipped over. There's even a quick voiceover that says, "We built this empire on oil, now it's drowning us in blood." That line alone gave me chills. One of the biggest surprises in the trailer is the presence of Tommy Miller. We knew she was stepping up in Season 2, but from what we see here, she's no longer in the background. She's front and center in a boardroom scene, looking like she's running the show. The way she's staring down investors and slamming folders on the table. Yeah, Cammy's ready to take control, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's got her own agenda. With Monty gone, she might be looking to claim more than just power, maybe revenge. And speaking of new faces, we finally get our first real look at Andy Garcia's character, Galino. And wow, does he bring a different energy? He's calm, he's calculated, and he feels more dangerous because of it. There's one line he delivers in the trailer that absolutely floored me. "You can't buy peace in my world, you pay for it with blood." Chills. Literal chills. We still don't know exactly who Galino is. Some say cartel boss, others think he's an oil competitor, but either way, his scenes suggest he's going to be a major player in the chaos that's coming. Another emotional beat in the trailer is Tommy's relationship with Ninsley. There's a short but powerful moment where she's crying, and Tommy just stands there, silent. That silence says everything. He's trying to hold it all together, but the job, the threats, and the pressure, it's eating him alive. And Cooper? He's also in the mix. The trailer shows him working the rigs, fighting in a bar, and having another serious argument with his dad. It looks like the father-son tension isn't just continuing, it's exploding. The trailer doesn't reveal too much, but what it does show is enough to make one thing clear. Season 2 is about to be even more intense, more dangerous, and more emotionally layered than anything we saw before. There's corruption, violence, betrayal, and heartbreak all packed into these short minutes, and if this is what they're willing to show us in a trailer, I can't imagine what's being saved for the full season. And let's not forget, Sam Elliott. We still don't know who he's playing, but his voice drops at the end of the trailer with the line, "Bury your secrets deep, or they'll dig you up with the rest of the bones." I don't know who wrote that line, but it's already iconic. That alone tells me he's going to bring something gritty and grounded to this season, and his scenes with Bob Thornton? Already my most anticipated moments. If you're not hyped after watching that trailer, I don't know what to tell you. Landman Season 2 looks like it's going to be a war zone on every level. Business, personal, criminal, and no one is safe. If this trailer proved anything, it's that the real power struggles are just getting started. One of the biggest takeaways from this trailer is that no one is untouchable anymore, not even Tommy. In Season 1, he operated like a ghost behind closed doors, fixing problems with a quiet stare and a few strategic moves. But Season 2 is dragging him out into the open. He's now the face of MTex, and that makes him a target from all directions. We see flashes in the trailer that suggest things are spiraling fast. New threats coming from the boardroom, dangerous figures lurking in the oil fields, and the cartel watching every move. At one point, someone tells him, "This isn't a cleanup job anymore, Tommy. It's a countdown." That line hit hard. It means time is running out, and whatever's coming, he's not ready for it. And honestly, we aren't either. This trailer gives us a glimpse of something bigger brewing, something that feels like a war between power, loyalty, and survival. You can see it in the way Tommy walks through a crowd of reporters, in how his hands tremble when he's alone in his office. It's subtle, but that's the brilliance of Bob Thornton. He doesn't have to scream to show the pressure. You feel it building around him like a storm waiting to break. But this trailer doesn't just focus on Tommy. It's clear that Season 2 is expanding the scope and diving deeper into the lives of the people around him. Cooper is a major part of that. He's not just a rebellious son anymore. He's becoming someone who wants a piece of this world. But what kind of man is he trying to be? One moment in the trailer shows him wearing a suit, standing in front of a boardroom full of executives. Another moment shows him in the middle of a physical fight at a drill site. That contrast tells us something. He's caught between two lives, and it's tearing him apart. His relationship with Ariana seems like his anchor, but even that looks like it's being tested. There's a tense scene where she tells him, "You're not your father. Stop trying to be." That line right there says a lot. Cooper wants to make his own path, but the shadow of Tommy is too big to ignore. And I have a strong feeling that this father-son dynamic is going to explode before the season ends. Meanwhile, Cammy Miller is making serious moves. After Monty's death, many thought she'd step back. But clearly she's stepping up. The trailer shows her taking calls behind closed doors, negotiating with people outside the company, and even confronting Tommy in what looks like a very heated argument. She says, "You might sit in the chair, but you don't hold the power." That's a declaration, not a threat. Cammy is done waiting in the background. She knows the game, and now she wants to control it. And let's not forget, she was married to Monty. She knows every dirty secret that built MTex, and I wouldn't be surprised if she uses those secrets to get what she wants. The real question is, does she want to protect the company, or burn it all down and build something of her own? Then there's Rebecca Falcone, the legal fixer. We didn't see too much of her in Season 1, but now, the trailer suggests she's stepping into a bigger spotlight. There's a moment where she's shredding documents late at night, and another scene where she's standing in front of a judge, clearly under pressure. Her voiceover says, "You can't win in court when you're playing against people who make the laws." That hits hard because it shows how dirty the game really is. Rebecca isn't just protecting the company legally, she's the last line of defense when things go completely off the rails. And from what the trailer shows, Season 2 is going off the rails in a big way. And of course, we can't talk about the trailer without bringing up Galino. Andy Garcia is absolutely magnetic. He doesn't need flashy scenes. His presence alone makes every moment feel dangerous. There's one moment where he's sitting in the back of a blacked-out SUV, calmly reading a newspaper, while chaos erupts outside. That's who Galino is. He doesn't react to threats, because he is the threat. And what makes it even more intense is how personal it's starting to feel. Galino isn't just attacking the company, he's targeting the people inside it. There's a brief scene where Angela is pulled aside by someone warning her, "You're on a list now." That line made my stomach drop. Because if the cartel is now looking beyond the boardroom and going after families, that means no one is off limits. And that means Tommy isn't just fighting for control, he's fighting for survival. Everything about this trailer screams escalation. From the music to the dialogue to the pacing, it's telling us one thing. Season 2 is where everything falls apart before it can be rebuilt. And the cast? They look more committed than ever. Billy Bob Thornton is at the top of his game, Michelle Randolph brings even more emotion, and the addition of Sam Elliott adds weight and wisdom to a world that's spinning out of control. We don't know much about Elliott's character yet, but what really stood out in this trailer is the sense that Landman is no longer just telling a story, it's unraveling a storm. Every single scene feels heavier, more urgent, and honestly, more dangerous than ever. You can feel that something is about to explode, and the characters are walking on a thin, cracking line. One of the trailer's most jaw-dropping moments shows what looks like a full-on raid on an MTex facility. Armed men storm the site while workers run for cover, and over it all, Tommy's voice says, "We thought we were digging for oil. Turns out we were digging our own graves." That line stopped me cold. It confirms what we've all been suspecting. This isn't just about profit anymore, it's about survival. The deeper they go into the oil fields, the darker the secrets become. There's something buried in this company's past, and now it's crawling to the surface, and I have a feeling that what's been covered up won't stay buried for long. Another big shift the trailer reveals is the tone of the show itself. Season 1 had drama, tension, and a few major twists. But Season 2? It looks like it's leaning all the way into thriller territory. There are shots that look like they belong in a crime movie. Car chases, shady backroom meetings, even what appears to be a hostage situation. And in the middle of all of it, you've got Tommy trying to hold it all together while everything around him crumbles. The man who used to fix problems now is the problem, at least in the eyes of his enemies. There's a moment where someone says to him, "You think you're the hero in this story, but you're just the last one left standing." That line hit me hard, because it speaks to what Season 2 is really exploring, what happens when power stops protecting you and starts isolating you instead. Tommy has climbed the ladder, but now that he's at the top, he's got no one else above to call for help. It's just him, staring down threats from every angle. And this time, it's not just external enemies he has to worry about. The trailer drops hints that betrayal is coming from inside his own circle. There's a powerful exchange between Rebecca Falcone and Cammy Miller, two characters who've never really trusted each other. Rebecca tells her, "If this all burns down, I'm not going with it. Are you?" That says so much. It means alliances are shaky, people are watching their backs, and loyalty is running thin. Everyone is calculating their next move, and nobody is showing their full hand. And if Cammy's expression in that moment tells us anything, it's that she's willing to gamble everything to come out on top. Whether that means going behind Tommy's back or even making a deal with the enemy, we don't know yet. But one thing is certain, trust is disappearing fast, and the cracks inside MTex are starting to show. And then there's Angela, Tommy's ex-wife. She didn't get much focus in the last season, but the trailer gives her a few moments that hint at something bigger. We see her having a hushed conversation with an unknown man, and in another shot, she's holding a sealed envelope with shaking hands. We don't know what's inside, but based on her reaction, it's something devastating. It's possible she's being dragged into the chaos, or maybe she's sitting on a secret that could change everything. The trailer doesn't say it directly, but it shows enough to make you wonder, how much does Angela really know, and what happens if she decides to finally tell someone? The trailer also puts a lot of emotional weight on Annesley. There's a gut-wrenching scene where she's running down a hospital hallway, and in another she's seen arguing with Tommy, screaming, "This isn't just your life anymore!" That moment crushed me, because it shows how deeply his choices are starting to affect the people he loves. And Annesley has always been the heart of this show, the one thing that reminds Tommy what he's fighting for. But now, it looks like even that connection is cracking under the weight of everything he's trying to control. The more he takes on, the more he risks losing the one person who still believes in him. And in a world where everyone's either lying, running, or fighting for power, losing Annesley might be the thing that finally breaks him. And let's not forget the voiceovers scattered throughout the trailer. Landman has always used dialogue in a powerful way, but Season 2's trailer takes it up a notch. Lines like, "You don't own the land, you just rent the silence, and blood doesn't mix well with oil," give this season a much darker, more poetic edge. It's no longer just about the price of oil, it's about the price of ambition, of secrets, of survival. The writing in this trailer suggests that the themes are getting richer and heavier, and that the story is going to push every character to their limits. By the time this trailer ends, one thing becomes crystal clear. Landman Season 2 isn't just continuing the story, it's rewriting the rules. The stakes are higher, the emotions are rawer, and the danger feels real. This isn't the same show we watched in Season 1. It's grown into something bigger, darker, and far more unpredictable. Every character is being pulled into the fire, and no one is walking through it untouched. Tommy, who once looked like the man in control, now seems like the man being hunted. His position as president of MTex has put a spotlight on his back, and the weight of leadership is dragging him down fast. The trailer doesn't give away everything, but it shows enough to let us know. There's a storm coming, and Tommy is standing directly in its path. And what makes it more haunting is how quiet his desperation looks. You don't see him screaming or breaking down, you just see the wear in his eyes, the weight in his silence, and the fear that maybe, this time, he's in over his head. The final scenes of the trailer flash quickly, sirens wailing in the distance, oil rigs set ablaze, a masked figure walking through smoke, and a single gunshot ringing out in the dark. It's chaos, but it's the kind of chaos that's been building slowly since the very beginning. Now it's all coming to the surface. And in the middle of it, the faces of the people we've come to care about, Cooper, Enninsley, Rebecca, Cammy, even Galeno, flash in and out, each of them holding a secret, a weapon, or a decision that could change everything. The final voiceover is from Sam Elliott's character, and it chills you to the bone. He says, "When the ground gives way, you don't run. You brace for the fall and pray there's something left to land on." That one sentence perfectly captures what Season 2 feels like. A free fall, where the only thing more terrifying than the drop is not knowing who's going to survive the landing. And what makes this trailer truly brilliant is that it leaves you with more questions than answers. Who betrayed Tommy? What does Angela know? Can Cooper hold on to his soul in a world that chews people up and spits them out? Is Galeno planning something even bigger than we imagined? And who, if anyone, will come out of this season clean? These aren't just storylines. They're emotional grenades waiting to explode. You can feel it in every cut, every line of dialogue, every shadow-filled frame of this trailer. It's the kind of build-up that leaves you breathless, that makes you mark the release date on your calendar in bold red ink and count down the days. And as much as it looks like a story about oil, power, and crime, it's also a story about human limits. How much pressure can one person take before they break? How far can someone go to protect their legacy before it destroys them? Paramount clearly knows what it's doing with Landman. They're not dragging their feet, they're charging full speed into what could be their next big franchise. And this trailer proves it. The pacing, the editing, the lines, it all points to one thing. Season 2 is going to hit harder, go deeper, and leave us wanting even more. Billy Bob Thornton, Andy Garcia, Sam Elliott, and the rest of this powerhouse cast are locked in for a season that doesn't just raise the bar, it shatters it. And if you think the first season was intense, you haven't seen anything yet. The second season of Landman is gearing up to deliver betrayal, heartbreak, action, and the kind of storytelling that stays with you long after the credits roll.